Welcome to Swarf and Chips. Now this week we are joined by Ken from Open Mind Technologies. Mark's over in Ireland and I'm going to talk to Colin just a little bit later about the latest website, our new website for the MTD network. However, we've had loads and loads of you writing in, so thank you. Of course, due to limited time, there's only so many comments and requests we can say. So the first one we're going to kickstart with Richard from Lubriserve has been in touch. He says, well, I do like this. I have a great industrial hoover for your Swarf and Chips.
Yeah, sounds like Joe's sucking the atmosphere out of everywhere as usual.
That's mean.
Can you go away? Your turn later. You come back later.
You've got a network.
Nice plug.
Yeah, nice plug.
Yeah.
Good start. Is welcome here whenever.
Yeah.
Richard's
Right,
welcome whenever.
Richard from Lubriserve, welcome here whenever you like. Okay, let's start the show. I love this video. It's so interesting and it's the 3D Metro scan. My first question to you is though, how does this technology of scanning parts fit into this industry?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because that's exactly the question I sort of asked myself when I first watched this. Obviously, Mark conducted the interview. But you do think, well, is it just for this industry? Well, no, it's not. It's hugely broad. I mean, he demonstrates it doing on an aluminium wheel, but you can also use this device for measuring, as he says, trains or industrial applications. So it's a very broad market, isn't it?
Yeah, I see in our arena for reverse engineering. So whereas you've got a component and no drawing, you have to take your CMM, maybe you have to measure it, get your verniers out. Whereas this, you could scan it, you create your point cloud, you get a file, you can import to a CAD model or even a 3D printer.
And the big point about this was the shiny surfaces on the wheel. There's no other product apparently that can do it in the same way that this Metro scan can. Brand new product this year, launched just 6 months ago. The Handy scan for these guys is one of their best sellers, and I believe that this will be a big seller as well. But I think Joe's hit the nail on the head. Reverse engineering is the key.
Yeah, and going forward, perhaps you'll scan your components in the machine, in the vice, and it will say, yeah, that one's good. You know, the way the world's going now with AI and things like that.
Are you talking about this kind of going on to the level of CMM?
Why not? If it's, I don't know, I can't remember how accurate that was, but if you're only chasing 10, 15 microns, you may not need a CMM in the future. You may just use a scanner.
So he has a reason to be enthusiastic about that product.
Now this is really interesting. This is the Hella Profi Trainer. All guards, you can really get to see what the machine is doing here. Why is this? Why are Hella using this machine?
This is the second time we've looked at these machines, isn't it? Mark looked at one, but I was intrigued by the SECO Inspiration Through Innovation event as well. It's about bringing the youth of today up to speed with machine tool operating and programming on something that's not going to cost a lot of money if you smash it up, essentially.
It's a bit of a risk. If you put a brand new apprentice and they're potentially going to crash a machine, I'm not saying that, but they've got that potential. You're kind of removing that risk away, aren't you?
Yeah. Not even an apprentice. You might want to, look at a new machining strategy. And okay, you're limited to the component size, but you could be an experienced setter, but you want to try something out when your machine's been fully utilised. Use this instead. And
you can use that. You can use the parts anyway beyond.
Yeah. The machine is just a scaled down model of a Hella machine tool. So essentially, everything that goes into this in the build quality is no different to a bigger machine. I asked them about it becoming a commercial venture. Could you sell these? Because there are mini mills on the market, there are office mills. So you kind of think, is this moving towards that? It's not what it's about. It really is there for training people.
But they could quite easily.
Yeah.
And last but not least is Starrag. We're talking about the STC 800 MT. What's this new technology about, the blade technology?
Yeah, but blade machining technology is not a new strategy or a new technology, but this machine is about predominantly machining casings. So a casing may be an aerospace part or an aerospace casing. And I think you'll see in this video in a minute where you've got lots of internal features in a part or external features, and you need to basically turn as well as mill. So if you imagine a casing's a bit like a drum in a sense, and you want to get inside it, you want to get to difficult angles.
It's great for radial components who have got milling features all the way around the component. That's where it wins.
Yeah, and the Starrag, and that is what Starrag is all about. Starrag are about the aerospace market is a big market for these guys. And this machine offers total flexibility on larger components out of difficult materials. What's interesting about this as well is it's an HSK 100 machine. So
big, robust.
it's big and robust. So whether you're tackling titaniums or whatever it might be, this is a solution.
I'm going to have to stop you there because later in the show we've got Ken from Open Mind Technologies, but up next is Mark, who's over in Ireland.
Lindsay, guys, thanks very much. I'm in Northern Ireland today. I'm with Datum Technologies. Now, Asquith Butler sold this machine to these guys, and I'm here with Jim, who's the CNC engineer on the shop floor. Jim, why did you buy the Sahas?
Well, we looked at quite a few, and we settled on the Sahas mainly because of its capacity, the length of it, the jobs that we found that we were coming across. Our customers needed bigger tooling, so we needed a bigger capacity machine. We opted for this because of its high speed, and also they didn't scrimp on the technology when they were putting the Heidenhain control in place, which is an excellent add-on to this machine.
Because predominantly your work is aerospace, so basically long and thin.
That's it, yes, long and thin, and also the cutting speed, the feeds and speeds have to be very high and have to be very accurate.
And how did you come to choose to look at Asquith Butler Sahas machine?
Well, we actually went onto your site, MTD, had a look at a few of your videos and whatnot, and we just seen it. We thought this would suit our environment. It ticked all the boxes for what we need at this particular time.
And would you say that you're more productive as a company?
Oh, definitely, yes. If I could say anything, we could actually do with another one.
Thanks very much, Jim. Now, just shows you that UK engineers are using MTD, watching our videos, and these guys chose this machine based on a video that we produced. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Mark. Now, some more technology. So we're talking about Hardinge Bridgeport. They've got a 480 machine and they've gone from a single pallet to a twin pallet. Why?
To improve productivity, really, isn't it? I mean, twin pallets are popular machines, but often people don't opt for a twin pallet, maybe because it's too big footprint. But this machine, big 3 times. But this is a small footprint machine with the twin pallet capacity on it, so you can double up. You can load one side while the other side's machining. This is a new model for the engineering technology group. Steve, great guy, do loads of interviews with Steve.
He knows his machine tool, Steve.
Rocks up, no preparation, straight into it. He knows the ins and outs of the machine tools, very, very technical. So he's a great representative for the business. But the machine itself is a high-speed machine. It comes with like through-spindle coolant. You can have it with a Fanuc control or a Siemens control. But principally the idea is to be loading this side here while the other side is machining.
Yeah, you asked the question why, and to me it's dead simple. It's all about productivity. A single pallet Hardinge machining centre, there must be thousands, tens of thousands around the globe. Essentially all this is, it's a twin pallet version. You're only making money when that spindle's cutting, as you know. So with a twin pallet, you would hope to achieve something like 80-90% spindle uptime. With a vertical, it might be as low as 20-25, depending on the component you have to load. So it's all about productivity.
From an engineer's point of view, what is the price difference? I don't want to the pennies, but is it worth that investment so much more for going to that next level?
It depends whether Martin Dawes got his pencil sharpener out on that, doesn't it, really?
No, I think it's Paul. I think it's a no-brainer, to be honest, because that's going to be twice as efficient as 2 machines. Well, sorry, more efficient than 2 machines in my eyes. Because you might have one operator loading both machines, but that operator's not always there. In a twin pallet, the spindle should always be in cut, really. You know, the cutting tool should always be in cut.
And it's a myth when people say that the common answer, do you want to buy a twin pallet machine? No, I don't do the same part 1 million times a year.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not what it's about. A twin pallet machine is about uptime, as Joe said. You can be doing lots of different parts, 10 off, 5 offs, thousands offs, and you can still get the benefit.
There's not enough of these sold. I don't mean this particular model of machine, I just mean
Twin pallets.
twin pallets. You
Overall.
know. In my eyes, if you're buying a machine, you should look at a twin pallet before a single pallet, in my eyes.
And these machines are now in stock being bought in. So if you are interested in one, this is a good place to
ETG.
start. Yeah.
And you went to Edinburgh University, didn't you, Joe?
Colin did on my behalf. But yeah, the AML, Advanced Minimum Lubrication, it's basically removing flood coolant away from
You
the
could do
machining
with
zone.
that in your bones to get you moving in the morning, couldn't you?
It would help. It would help. It's basically an air blast.
Mean.
It's an air blast with vegetable oil. And it's obviously better for the environment. It removes the flood coolant from the working area. And why is that applicable, you may ask? Well, this video we're looking at here, this is a turret mill, minimal guarding. If you use flood coolant, it's going to be much messier. And this is total loss as well. So you're spraying minimal coolant onto the workpiece, but it actually evaporates, it disappears.
He did actually say in this video, you're using almost like a teaspoon or something over a period of quite a few hours. So you're not actually using a lot of the product
Hardly
either.
any at all, but it still maintains tool life. You shouldn't see a reduction in tool life as a result of using AML. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. And there's new legislations in 2017 for coolants and disposal and production of coolants, well, metal cutting fluids in general. So I think this is going to become even more popular next year.
They need a teaspoon, Joe need a tablespoon.
Oh goodness, you're so mean to one another. Oh, right, okay, Tebis, their brand new interface 4.0. What's this new technology?
Ease of use is what they sell it on, and it's some CAN companies, and it might be right for you, it may not be. They've got loads of different programs, but you have to buy each and every little program. Whereas Tebis, you buy Tebis, and then you bolt the bits you want on. The interface is the same. Whether you're doing turning, 5-axis machining, 3-axis, a trimming, they've got a bespoke trimming application, and it's all in one bundle. Okay, you probably have to pay a bit extra, and they tick a box and you get it, but it's the same interface across all programs.
How successful are Tebis with their software?
You wouldn't believe how big a company they are. I know we haven't, up to 12 months ago, I didn't know much about them. You didn't see much of them, but since they've been a client of ours, it's probably down to us. They're seen everywhere now. They're seen everywhere. But it's a great product. In fact, they're one of the market leaders in the automotive. If you go to an OEM automotive manufacturer, they reckon there's an 80% chance you're going to see Tebis software in action. So they're big, to answer your question.
I like this demonstration with this hand as well.
Yeah, it looks like the voice. The hand off the voice.
Oh, is that what they're...
I think so. I don't know if it is, but that's what it looks like. Or it could look like something different, actually.
Oh, Joe, okay. Joe, okay, we'll stop there. Joe, let's go. We're going to go and meet Ken from Open Mind Technologies. Thank you for joining us, Ken. Now, currently a big focus for Open Mind is your Hypermill Max machining. Now, you've stated that there's a 90% saving on cycle times. How is this even possible?
That's right. So there's a big focus these days on getting time out of your roughing. So with roughing, we estimate probably 30% of the total time of the part is taken up with roughing, and 70% is in the finishing. And people aren't thinking about how can I get savings out of the finishing. Mm-hmm. So part of Hypermill Max machining is with the use of barrel cutters. So a cutter like this, which has a very large radius on the side of the tool. So what that means is on a part with some, you've got either planar walls or there's some curvature, you can tilt the tool over in 5-axis, so someone might traditionally just ball nose it, scan with a very small step over to get the surface finish that they want. But the limitation on that is, maybe you can only get up to a 20mm diameter on the shank, so that's the diameter on the ball. Whereas this particular tool, we've got a 1000mm radius on the side of the tool, and it means we can then use a much bigger step down to achieve exactly the same surface finish. And that, by doing the maths in terms of calculating your RA value, that's where the 90% comes from.
Wow, okay.
And in terms of the radius at the bottom of the pocket, how's that achieved? Because obviously you can't use the side of the tool.
Yeah, that's right. So the bottom of this tool, it actually has a ball on it. So what you can then do, so the strategy it's called a bounding option. So we would do the planes or the flat surfaces, and then we can tilt the tool over, and then we can take the tool and take out the corners, and it's all part of that strategy.
And do you need 4 simultaneous for this?
Yes, you do. Yeah, so we are working on an option for doing 4+1 machining, so a locked 5th axis, and then driven there. But what it is, so some 5-axis machines are very, very dynamic and they work very fast in 5-axis. But there is an option within the strategy where you can split the face into 2. So you can say it will calculate a fixed inclination, and then it will do a simultaneous move to the other side of the pocket. And that just means if the machine's maybe not as dynamic and you're not worried about having that blend mark down the middle, you can then it's a lot more rigid by working in 3+2.
If it was 3+2, could you not use a taper cutter?
Yeah, the limitation with the tapered cutter is, if the side of the cutter is straight, then that taper angle, that will dictate the tilt that you have to do. So, and the objective of doing this is, people say, well, why don't I just flank mill that? Well, you can't flank mill it because the pocket's too deep. So it means, you have to tilt the tool over to get the tool length down. But then when you're inside the part, you might have a collision with the tool holder against this wall here, and then you can what the strategy is doing automatically, it's modifying that tilt angle. And you couldn't do that with a tapered cutter, whereas by having this radius, you're basically rolling round on that ball, varying the contact point.
Yeah, and does it predict that, or does it do it at real time? Because obviously if it's real time, you're going to get a mark, aren't you?
Yeah, no, it predicts that. So we're looking ahead and we're always looking to calculate the smoothest possible movement for the machine tool, which is then going to give you, best surface quality.
And what is the radius on the tool, out of interest?
1,000 millimetres on this particular tool.
So big step downs.
Yeah, that's right. So you could be going up to 7 mil step down, whereas maybe you'd be doing it with a ball mill, 0.2, 0.3.
Sure.
Okay, so Ken, you've got some parts here. Can you tell us a little bit more about this particular part here?
Yeah, this part it's an aerospace component. The total cycle time was 2 hours and 15 minutes. Now, obviously, a big part of that, we've got these deep pockets with these walls, so the finishing, but also there's a lot of material to remove. So a big sort of buzzword at the moment is trochoidal milling. That's where roughing cycle time, you can reduce it. We didn't actually do any trochoidal milling on this particular part, so you've got some deep pockets here. So part of Hypermill Max machining is what we're doing a 5-axis helical, so we're tipping the tool over and we're doing a spiral round, and that's a very fast way of removing material. Now the reason why, you think a helical, that's quite simple, but if you did this a 3-axis helical, the issue there you have is you are limited, because all the forces are going straight through the spindle, you're limited by the pitch that you can put on that helical. So what we're doing is we're tipping the tool over, and then it means you can be far more aggressive on your pitch. And you can also, because you've tipped it over, you can use a non-center cutting tool, so a face mill. So that then the other benefit there is you've then eliminated the tool change as well. So you're going to face mill, and then so you very quickly remove material. Then equally, we've got some new strategies coming out in our next release of software, which is dedicated new roughing techniques for aluminium machining. So this is something that we've coming within the next month.
What was the cycle time?
2 hours and 15 minutes.
2 hours and 15 minutes. Okay.
Is this the one where you saved 90%?
Yes, so 90%. So this is where the reduction, by the barrel cutters on the walls, and also additionally on the floor. So so this barrel cutter. So it's the reason why this tool is different. This is a new tool type from OpenMind. So we have we specify a cone angle. So on the walls, by having them, I don't have the tool here, but if we had a much larger cone angle, you're pushing the barrel towards the tip of the tool, and that's by finishing the floors. So again, you've got very deep, hard to reach areas. We can then use those much bigger step overs on the floor as well.
Right, okay. Ken, a lot of your control manufacturers like Siemens and Fanuc, they're creating real kind of simplistic methods of programming at the control. Why are people using CAD/CAM? Why?
Parts are becoming more complex. So, most parts now are designed in CAD, so you have 3D models. And for you really to get the best out of your machine tool, what a CAM system is, you can visualize a lot more. So you can, we can have the part, we can have the stock, the fixture, we can see exactly where we are at the end of each machining operation. So we can see what the stock condition is. We can then do full simulation, and we can then take the full machine tool and simulate the entire movements of the machine, checking for workspace, which is something that's what you need a CAM system for. So if you really want, if you're looking to push your machine to the right, limit of what it's capable of doing, you need a CAM system where you can visualize all of this.
And we've mentioned milling here. What about turning? Yeah,
turning. So Hypermill, we have turning. So this is a component that has, some turning on it. So we have the thread, obviously, and we would turn it to a certain condition, and then we go, and then we combine the milling. So Hypermill, it has turning fully integrated. It's not a separate module product that you have to learn. It's fully integrated. You can do a combination of milling, then turning, or turning, then milling, and combine that, and you get one NC file. So it's so you can get that whole part done in one operation.
Okay. Now, if you want to find a little bit more about Hypermill Max Machining, you've got the details across the screen and you can contact Ken on those details. But Ken, I'm going to quiz you now because we've had a couple of questions in. So, District Tooling, Alan has asked, we specialise in bespoke, one-off and prototype work. Will the investment in your system be beneficial for this type of work?
Certainly will. Hypermill, it's a very versatile product. It ranges from simple 2D strategies, drilling, 3D, 3+2, 5-axis. So it really encompasses all industry types. So you can start off with a 3-axis product, and you can always upgrade it and add on. And the nice thing is it's a common user interface regardless of what you're doing. So in terms of once you've made that investment and done you've learnt it, it's very easy then to move on to do other types of machining.
To other projects and
Exactly.
machining.
What happens if the parts are really straightforward? Are they better off doing it on the machine tool?
I don't think so, because you can, with Hypermill, there's a lot of automation that you can build in, and it's not just sort of out of the box automation. Hypermill does it how it wants to do it. You can actually build these procedures yourselves. So if you've got some special techniques that you use that are special to you, and obviously that gives you the advantage, you can build those into Hypermill and then automatically apply those, to the more simple, features. And now obviously, you've then got full control of what you're doing.
One more question. Clarent Precision. Paul and John from Clarent have a selection of machines, both mills and lathes. Would your software show benefit on both types of machines? Which I think we've kind of answered already in the show.
Certainly would. And it's the nice thing is, so we have milling and turning, and it's the same user interface regardless of whether you're doing milling and turning. So if you've got a bit of crossover of the people who are programming the mills and the lathes, it's very easy for them to transfer and learn the turning side, equally the milling side, because it's essentially you're using the same product just with a few different options.
And have you got any offers for the end of year or anything for any people who may be watching?
Certainly, yeah, we will be announcing some offers in the next, it is our end of financial year in December. It has been a great year for us. We're already, we've had a record year so far.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Ken.
So, Colin, we're talking about the MTD network. You've got loads to talk about today. However, let's kick-start with some of the companies. Sub-CNC.
Well, before we go on to Sub-CNC, someone picked me up about product placement last week, and I told you that is not going to happen on this show ever. So, moving on.
Yeah.
Sub-CNC, George and Jan, as you said last week, are going to be here. So,
Oh, I knew that. I knew you were going to
George,
do something.
Jan, thank you for coming along. It's been an absolute pleasure for us to have you here. No, you might spot it's not George and Jan. Good news and bad news. Away from George and Jan.
You got them from your bedroom?
Absolutely.
Dear.
George and Jan, very, very busy.
Yeah.
So bad news, they can't make it. The good news is they're moving. They've got new they've actually taken premises next door to where they are, got some new machines. So they're just a great example of the success story that
Yeah, they're a bit of a victim to their own success, aren't they, really?
they are. But also, they're really good at marketing, social media, and obviously growing through using MTD networks. So their success is purely down to us.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not.
We
but
can help.
We've helped them definitely, but they're just a great example of using social media and also doing good engineering. Really are great guys.
PES Engineering?
P.S. Martin's going to kill me for saying this, but we've done some videos for him. He told me the other day he was over the moon because their first video we had to edit slightly because there was a hole in the ceiling.
Oh, don't tell everyone, though.
Too late, Martin. Sorry, but working hard, lots of work going on, and the ceiling is now fixed.
Oh,
So,
okay. I wonder how the ceiling... No questions.
no, moving on.
Right, okay, RK Engineering.
RK Engineering, Keith. I keep asking Keith for content for the website, and we're doing the same components, things like that. We're getting a bit of new business. Watch this space. So he's got a great big contract about to go live. So as soon as that is, that'll be going on the website.
Right,
So
okay.
we're waiting for you, Keith. Thank you very much.
And CC Patterns.
CC Patterns. You will see a video very shortly, and you've seen it on Swarf and Chips. I interviewed R2D2.
Yes,
One of the
very
most-
funny.
One of the most animate engineers I've ever spoken to.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm joking, engineers, but that was a very interesting interview. So watch this space; that'll be out soon, and it's been on Swarf and Chips.
Yes, it has. And I would have loved to have been one of the people at the event to watch you speaking to R2D2 and thinking, who's that man?
I have to thank our editors and cameramen for making it look a lot better than it did when I was actually standing there next to this robot doing nothing. I looked completely bonkers. We had a few.
sense than you.
Thanks, Paul.
Heckling. Oh goodness, it's like working with monkeys.
Well,
Oh goodness, yes.
what can I say?
The website.
The new website, it's up, live and running. We mentioned it a few weeks ago. It's now here, and I'm really, really excited about it. Yes, you can still list the engineers' profiles, you can do your news, you can do your videos, but the difference is you've got a big slider so you can see who's got the latest news. It's all in a timeline as well, so you get that content to me, we'll get you on the homepage.
Capacity.
That's unique pretty much in the industry in terms of listing for engineers, so you can advertise your capacity on there. So if you've got a machine that's, you know, a lathe that maybe got a couple of hours spare, get it on the site, we'll try and get you some work. Well, we'll get you some work.
You know, just to make note of that as well, we were speaking to someone earlier on and we found out that we got a lot of new leads for this company that they didn't even know even existed. So this is working, it's proof.
It is. Actually, I want to cover that one very, very quickly. Speaking to Alan from District Tooling, he was actually a little bit reticent about joining Network. He thought, you know, not sure about it, spending the money. Spoke with Alan. He's been on the site a few months now. I just got him a cracking inquiry. It was a bespoke part, 20 drawings. He's won the business, he's over the moon. So, Alan, please we can get you some work.
Oh, fantastic. Any more on the network or?
That's it for the moment. I'm just going to go and work on the website and make sure we're all getting the work going through for all the engineers.
Okay, thanks, Connie. Always
Thank
a
you very
pleasure.
much. And Jan and George.
Before we discuss the weekly deals, don't forget you can contact us using the details on screen if you've got any questions or you want to be on the show. Right, your weekly deals.
Okay, deal of the week this week. This is the Romy D1250. This is a new machine. It's got the new fascia or the new livery, which was came out in early in 2016. This machine is a BT40 machine. It's got a Siemens control. It's got a 1250mm X-axis. It can take 1.4 tonnes on the table, which is monstrous for a machine of this size. It weighs 9 tonnes. It's all about rigidity and machining stability. I think 30-station tool changer, 10,000 RPM spindle, through spindle coolant. Deal of the week this week, available from stock from Rugby.
Yeah, I think they're causing their competition a few pains, Romy. They're putting a few machines in at the moment. They're doing well, very well.
So this
Can't
is
blame them.
deal of the week this week.
Any more deals?
Yeah, we've got a few. Sorry, Paul. We got the TDM or the M1 drill from Whittier, sold in the UK by ITC. It's an indexable drill. It's the type where you put the drill on top and it screws down into the steel holder. Very popular drill, and that's still available as a promo again to the end of this year.
And we also have Herco, who sell the Roders machine. They've got a used high-speed 5-axis Roders machining centre with an automation system equipped with it. I can't imagine it's going to be around for long. And I mean, you know, because that type of machine, Roders, high speed, it's not like 40 or 50,000 RPM spindle, I believe. So it's a very, very quick high-speed machine that's available.
Yeah, Ajax Machine Tools.
Yeah, sorry, where are they based?
Well, Roders are sold by Herco. So,
By
so you
Herco.
can contact
Yeah.
Herco for that. Yeah.
And Ajax on the south coast?
Yeah, we actually went to an open house, which is up north actually, in by Manchester. But they've got this new lathe, CNC lathe, and it's available. Yeah, it's available now on offer again until the end of the year. It's a good machine.
Yeah, they're good machines. They've had a lot of success with those machines, Ajax have.
Yeah, I think their sales spiel on it is basically why buy a manual when you can buy CNC for the same price, which is also a manual machine. You can use it as a manual anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, a bit of a no-brainer.
Every machine shop could do with a machine like that.
Any more, Paul?
Yeah, final deal that I can, or I'd like to highlight, is a Seco deal. They've got 55% off at the moment. This is on their website, which I'm reading now, on selected cutting tools between November the 1st and December the 31st. That's 55% off.
That's a
That's
lot.
over,
Wow.
or less than half price, whichever way around it works. I don't know. But anyway,
The deal's more than 50% and the price is less.
we're talking about grooving inserts, grooving tool holders, threading inserts, threading tool holders, ISO turning inserts, and there's over 1,000 kits with at least 55% off the list price.
January sales come early. Black Friday. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you want to see previous episodes, do follow the links on the screen and keep those spindles turning.